Very nice. Okay. Now it's so beautiful. This is kind of a long phrase, right? So what are some things we can do? I love all of the adjectives you have in your music. Very nice. What is something we can do to kind of keep our audience interested? Because this keeps coming back, right? There's another one. So what are some things we can do? There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, I've tried to have like kind of a different emotion with each of them, especially because the chords are changing too. Like just the old color. It's like the same general rhythm, but the notes are changing enough to where it shouldn't all sound the same.
Exactly. So what are you thinking for the first one?
The first one is pretty. It's like bold. It sets the tone.
Yes.
You're kind of a little in your face.
And then keep going. And
I
then
feel like the second one is a little bit less like out there, but still like really intense, just a little bit less.
Okay. And then
I feel like the second one is kind of a little bit darker of an emotion. It's kind of that intensity building more.
Yeah. Okay, so what are some things we can do to make that come alive?
I think
so how would you play this one different from this one?
Probably varying, obviously, like the dynamic a little bit, vibrato, some types of the articulation, how I vary that. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I love giving this analogy. Do I have any dancers or theater people here? Okay, so your people up close look very crazy. If you've ever seen like a theater, an actor or a dancer, you know, from far away they're really beautiful, but up close their eyelashes are like this long and then blush. So you're gonna have to really, really, really exaggerate these differences so that your audience can tell exactly what you're doing. So now that we've got sort of like the rhythmic and the style, let's play around with like keeping our audience captivated through this whole thing. Let's try it again. Good. Okay, so I want you to, do you articulate this right there on the grace note? Do you do the kick?
I think a little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so so what I was telling her is like whenever we're down in the low register, it's kind of hit or miss because, you know, our foot joint is like our appendages. When you go outside, right, the first thing that gets cold are your fingers, your nose, your ears. So if you're not blowing low notes for a while, then sometimes it just doesn't speak. So a lot of times if I have to articulate down low, then I do the like kick. I mean, people call it different things, but instead of articulating, I use my ring finger, just gently nudge it, and it kind of takes the place of my tongue. So instead of going, I do, and it's just sort of a little bit more bulletproof way of getting the notes to speak down there. So if you can start somewhere before, anywhere you want, and make sure you're blowing sort of hot, warm air to keep the back of your throat open, and see if you can kind of dig a little bit more when you get there. Okay. Anywhere you want before that. Good. That's really nice. Okay, so now, we want to show off as much as possible, right? It sounds like, and I was just seeing what you wrote there. So a lot of people like to vibrate on fast notes, which I think is great. But I think, just flatter me once, and I want you to blow just a fast, steady stream of air when you get to that run. I just want it to be a little like thicker and a little bit more in control. Let's see. And then you can go back to being like your regular self once you get here. So let's start in the same spot.
Like before that?
Yeah, okay. Just to get into it. Yeah, so basically air-wise, you're gonna just do this. So it's really hard to separate our air and our fingers, right? You know, it would just be helpful if I could just be like, ooh, you know. So start right on it and see if you can keep your air fast and steady so it sounds like you're just gliding the back of your fingers over across piano keys, like just like a gliss of notes. Okay? And then open up sort of like you're yawning on the way up. That way your mouth can handle the amount of air that you're trying to put in, out.
关注我，绝情不走弯路。